What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Closing the Deal. Guys, we are back with another special episode of our Saturday Talk series. As you guys know, or maybe you don't know because you haven't listened to it yet, but we dropped an episode, just kind of shooting the shit, honestly, just talking about our lives, giving you guys a little bit of insight into who we are outside of real estate, outside of mortgages, and a little bit of what we like to do and the things we like to talk about. So been a couple of weeks. It's been more than a couple of weeks since we recorded that episode, for sure. It's definitely been a couple of weeks since we dropped that episode. So yeah, we got a lot to get you guys caught up on, for that. So Zach, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Fantastic. Super excited for our Saturday Talks episode today. A lot to get caught up on since the last time we discussed. A lot of happenings in life. So it's time to get started. No better time than the present.
Absolutely. And I want to say that we recorded that last episode prior to your anniversary vacation, if I remember correctly, because I think we talked about, things that we had coming up. Actually, I know for a fact because we recorded it prior to the very first. Well, actually, you went on vacation before that, so never mind. I was gonna say we went on before our very first Friends Tour event,
Yes.
that we put on, but that was once you got back from vacation, so that's not necessarily a good benchmark to go off of. But I do know that we did it before you went on vacation. So, how was Costa Rica? How was the anniversary trip?
It was nothing short of fantastic, all in all. It was a very, what do I want to say, long trip. Like not necessarily long as in like long we were there for a long time, but like the travel from the Cleveland airport to Chicago to Costa Rica, the airport in Costa Rica to our resort. It made for 2 long travel days all in all. But once we got to the resort, it was a beautiful time. Had a beautiful beach, beautiful resort, great food, good people all around, good drinks, and great weather as well. So really couldn't beat that. But it was supposed to be about an hour car ride from the airport to our resort. And we hopped in our transportation right out of customs, grabbed our bags, hopped in our transportation. And my guy was like, "So, my friend, it may be a little bit longer than an hour." I said, "Okay, that's fine. We're on island time. There's nothing else we can do, right? Give me a drink. I'll be fine." This ended up being a 2.5 hour drive to the resort from the airport. And he undersold that a little bit when he told me that it might be a little bit longer than an hour, unfortunately. But we had a good time. Obviously, I speak a little bit of Spanish, so had some conversations with our driver about soccer, Costa Rican food, culture, history, all that, and the other. So it made the 2.5 hours go a little bit quicker. But the reason why it took so long, honestly, is it was a river that connects obviously 2 parts of the country, but there is literally only one bridge that crosses over this river for miles this way, miles this way. So literally every single transportation vehicle from the airport getting to most of the resorts is using this bridge. The people that, work at these resorts but live near the airport are using this bridge. It was an absolute mess. It was a mess. And so they're doing repairs on this bridge, and it was more so about the handling of letting cars pass through the bridge. We got to be the very front car in line watching how the cop would direct traffic through the bridge. And so we got a legit firsthand look of watching. I'm not kidding, 30 minutes straight of cars from the other side passing through the bridge without letting our side go through. And so it was just enabling traffic to build up on both sides, because in that 30 minutes you're getting cars through, but the traffic is just still building on both sides. So it's just you should, in my opinion, you should be letting a little bit of cars through from one side, a little bit of cars from the other side, get both sides moving instead of having one side at a standstill for legitimately a half hour. Like, I'm not kidding. And so
Yeah, that's crazy.
we finally got through that, whatever. And then, our resort is kind of in a remote area in the mountain area. And I'm not kidding when I say this road was a 1.5 lane road. And so, and most of it was not necessarily paved the right way, a lot of potholes. And so it was just an interesting trip, going around curves and not necessarily knowing what's on the other side, seeing big old dump trucks taking up literally all 1.5 lanes of the road, and we're pretty much 3 tires off the road at this point. Fortunately, my wife didn't feel too good after after that ride. Had a little bit of car sickness because I don't blame her. It was an interesting one for sure.
I think, yeah, just got to be a combination of the whole day together. I remember when we went on our trip last year in December, just that, I mean, just traveling for that long, you're up at the butt crack of dawn and then just flight, layover, flight, and then you get there and then it's like, then you have that. I mean, good on your driver, because I'm not sure what you would have said had he said 2.5 hours. So I can totally understand why he why he undersold that, because I'm not sure I would have been looking at you in the eye and said, hey, listen, instead of an hour, you're looking at double that and a half. But I can understand, yeah, why that wouldn't feel good. And the driving doesn't surprise me. If you have never been out of the country and you're listening to this, it's very well documented that pretty much you think the United States is bad drivers, you think Ohio's got bad drivers. Maybe I wouldn't classify them as bad, but they just do things different in other countries. They just operate in a different type of manner over there, especially when it comes to driving. It's nuts especially if you're up in that car and just watching it, firsthand. You're like, what is going on? So definitely an interesting experience.
Couldn't agree more. And, we're talking with employees of the hotel, that night after we get there. And they're telling me about how long it took them to get to work. Like they were late to work that day because of this bridge. And then we're talking to them again the next day. We're talking about the bridge and blah, 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 whatever. They said, yeah, bridge is good. We're all good. Nothing to worry about. So it literally was only on the day that we're flying out into Liberia, Costa Rica. So just got to throw your hands up and accept it for what it is, unfortunately, at that point. But going back to the long travel day too, I just want to shout out how shitty the Columbus airport is that made us decide to fly out of Cleveland. I'll tell you that. I think that we can acknowledge that our Columbus airport is absolutely trash. We have no international destinations whatsoever, and damn near everything in the country is needing a layover too. We have
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't even stop the bar at international. Let's just stop the bar at fucking going anywhere.
Yeah.
Really,
it's ridiculous. It honestly is. Thankfully,
it is.
You were telling me about this new terminal that you saw when you flew away. So
just telling you what the Uber driver said to me. I did a little bit of digging in on it myself. I can neither confirm nor deny whether or not there's truly going to be direct international flights coming to Columbus, but I did look at the pictures. I mean, they're spending $2 billion on this thing. I mean, I didn't realize they're like shutting down the actual airport that we have as it currently stands. I don't know what they're going to do with it right now, but they said it's a logistic nightmare having 3 separate terminals. Like, because obviously for business standpoint, like if you have, the PGA Tour grill that we've gone to in Terminal 3 is not available in Terminal, or it's C, but it's not available in A and B. So it's like that business gets less business, because if you're not flying on those planes out of that terminal, you're not seeing customers. And so, I mean, they're saying that this thing's going to have 36 different terminals in this one, or 36 different gates in this one terminal. It's $2 billion. The thing looks state of the art. Like they're building a brand new parking garage across the way. So I don't know. I'm just telling you, I looked it up, looked at the pictures. It looks pretty legit. It's supposed to be here by like 2029 or something like that. So jury's out.
Let me just say,
we'll circle back. We'll circle back in 2029. We'll see if the flights have gotten any better.
I am monitoring. Indeed, I am absolutely monitoring the situation.
Yes, 100%. Hey, got to shout out all those California nights coming out this way for the intel and everything. I mean, I can't imagine that this would be happening without you guys. So shout out you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
We really appreciate it. All of it.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
No, but honestly, that was a big part of the travel day too. We decided to fly out of Cleveland and picked the earliest possible flight we could do out of Cleveland. So we stayed the night before in Cleveland, got like 2 hours of sleep. It was just, all in all, by the time we got to the hotel after the flights and the long transfer from the airport. It was, let's have a drink and have dinner and let's go to bed.
Yeah. Yep, travel days are no fun for sure. Always feels good when you get to your destination though, but they are a pain in the ass. Especially anything really out of the country. I mean, it's multiple hours on a flight, and now I don't know about you, but flights are expensive. So getting something that's actually comfortable to sit in for that long is, you know, talking money. And then it's just it's insane, the flight business, actually, how they pack you in that thing like sardines. And if you're over 6 foot, like, you just, good luck. I mean, really, in all honesty, I mean, the leg space is atrocious. We can get into my flight experience. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. I'll take it over a car, but it can be tough to stomach at times.
Yeah. One positive from my flight experience, though, kind of just piggyback off of being packed in like sardines, is that was my first experience of flying with a lounge, access to a lounge. And let me tell you what, buddy, that is rich. You are in a upper echelon of class if you are in that lounge. Not me. I just have access somehow, some way. But I'm just saying, free food, free drink, free Wi-Fi, not packed in like sardines. You know how those airport seats are. You're literally on top of each other trying to do whatever it is on your phone, laptop,
Oh yeah.
iPad, whatever it is. This lounge had actual room. Like I could, you know what I mean? I'm not a big
Yeah,
guy,
you
but
gotta
like,
you gotta sit several gates over at that point. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for
If
sure.
you're in the actual airport, you just gotta create some
Yeah.
space. I mean, it's already gonna be a tight flight. Why put yourself in that position any earlier than you have to?
Couldn't agree more.
So the lounge sounds great. I mean, so walk us through, paint us a word picture here. I mean, were we talking this was Cleveland, or was it once you got to Chicago? And I mean, what's the lounge? Go ahead and name drop it. I'm curious.
So this was, we didn't have enough time between Cleveland and in Chicago when we landed in Chicago. So we had only like a 45-minute layover there. So that was nice for sure. But we got the lounge access in Miami on the way back from Costa Rica. It was a Turkish Airlines lounge, and I don't know if you've ever been to Miami, but they have the sky trams. So you literally, these terminals are so big, so long. You can walk it all if you want, but it's going to be a long walk for you. So this tram took us in, and we probably had, I don't know, a 3/4 of a mile walk to this lounge, and it sounds pretty long. And it ended up being pretty long, but it was more than worth it as well. It was a Turkish Airlines lounge. I'm not sure if I already mentioned that already, but we walk in, you tell them that you're a Priority Pass member. You, as a Priority Pass member, you get guests. So my wife was a guest of mine, and she was able to enter as well. They took you in, gave you two free seats, or two seats that were open, and then let you have at it at the buffet, and all the drinks as well. So that was a pretty long travel day for us that day. We were actually planning on driving home from Cleveland to Newark that night at like midnight if we tried to do so. So my first drink in the lounge was a latte. I needed my caffeine and coffee, but had a little basil pesto sandwich that was really smacking as well. Some potato salad, and some hummus. Fantastic. And then just topped it off with a glass of wine. Really just all in all, fantastic experience. Spent about 2.5 hours in there. Didn't even realize it was 2.5 hours, and got on our walk back to our gate, and pulled up right as we were boarding. And so that was an easy experience for us all in all.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds real nice. A little taste of that high life, you know what I mean? So just getting in there, and I mean, you had me at buffet. So
Yeah.
going in and getting away from that fast food and whatever else they got out there in those terminals. So,
And it was some good
but
food
yeah,
too. Like I was genuinely impressed with the options. Sometimes with the buffet options, it can be a little dicey, but yeah, it was happy.
especially if it's free,
Yeah, I mean, it's
you
not
know, they
technically
they
free. Let's
I
be
know,
real,
but
but
you know what I mean. But you're walking in, it's labeled free, and
yeah.
you just never know. There could be a lot of corners that are being cut when it comes to those sort of things. But good to know that they're taking care of their past members and their lounge members out that way.
Yeah, shout out to Turkish Airlines. They're the real ones. If I'm ever flying over to Europe, I'm on Turkish Airlines from now on. I'll tell you that.
They made a lifelong customer out of you. That's just great.
So
That's
I'm
great.
hoping that when with this new terminal in CMH in Columbus, we're going to get a couple more lounges as well. We only have one in Concourse B at the moment, so only if you're flying United or American you can get to that one. So I mean, you can technically get to it no matter what if you're in A or C, but you have to go through security to go in B and then come out and then go through security in your own in the gate that you need to be in. So
Just
yeah,
ridiculous, and all, and just ridiculous. I
completely.
mean, again, it's just a logistical nightmare in
Yeah.
there. It really
Yeah.
is. When you think about, leaving one terminal to go to the next and having to re-enter through security and do it all over again, just not it. So I can understand why they are going the route that they are going, with this new terminal. So I mean, it looks pretty sick, and you know, it's all one thing to say that it's all going to happen and that we're going to see it, but when you actually drive through there and you see that they are literally physically moving dirt as we speak, and I mean, it doesn't look like a small project by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, they're clearing dirt for some quarter to half a mile. So, I got faith that they're bringing us some goods. So, I mean, we'll see. Obviously, anything direct, just some more options would be great. Like you said, I mean, even a lounge in there. And I mean, obviously, we have a lounge now. So, my guess would be that we're going to have a lounge. And then with it being all one terminal, walk through security once, you'll have access to that and not have to, go back through security again, just to get in there. So, but we'll see.
Shout out to the good people of Columbus, the good people of the government of Columbus, the government of Franklin County, the government of the state of Ohio for all coming together and making this project happen. Much needed. Shout out to you guys.
I think it's the federal government as well. According to my Uber driver, there was some federal backing there, to kind of help ease that load of the 2 billion. So I guess, shout out United States Corporation. Thank you for
Corporation.
everything you. I
Great
mean,
usage there. Great usage.
thank you for everything that you do for us. Hopefully, it's worth it.
Uh,
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I mean, where do you want to go to next?
how we feel about the past two major winners in the professional golf scene? One of them was
Yeah, so
good.
now I know for sure that we haven't done this since, I mean, May, because yeah, the last time we talked, Rory had won a Rory had won one. So I think I want to throw that question maybe back to you, because there were some words, there were some rumblings of one of the major winners perhaps being on the hot seat. Can he win outside of Augusta? Does he have what it takes to win on a real golf course? I'm not sure, depending on who you are, if that question was answered or not. So I think, we'll start there, and just want to kind of get your input on what you think. Was the winner of the PGA Championship, was it justified? Was it a big boy event? Was it a big boy golf course, or what?
Absolutely. Hands up here. I'll accept this one 100%. Scotty Scheffler went out there and did the damn thing, made it happen immediately after I called for his head right after Augusta. So he probably heard me and said, it's time to get going, silence all these doubters. It's time to win another major somewhere other than Augusta National. And honestly, we probably should have seen it coming after he went 30 under, I believe, the week before, 2 weeks before at Byron Nelson. Like 30, it doesn't matter what course you're playing at. 30 under over the course of 4 rounds is ridiculous. Absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous. And so probably should have seen that coming. He is obviously just straight up the best player in the world. Probably the best player that we've seen since Tiger Woods, if we're being honest. And so, yeah, with the big boy golf course and some little bit of grown up rough and in some different areas and a premium on driver accuracy and length that we should have knew that he was going to pull that one out. I actually did know. I threw a little hard-earned change on him to win the PGA Championship. It wasn't a little special. Him boxed in with JT and Bryson, I think, and somebody else, Rory, I believe. So one of the four wins, I win the bet, and so obviously I did win that one. But I did think Bryson would have a little bit better of a showing in that major. He did have the lead for a little bit on Saturday, and then just absolutely fucked it up entirely, completely. And I expected. Okay, I should digress and say I didn't expect Jon Rahm to compete the way that he did, but then once he vaulted into contention and was in the lead on Sunday, I fully expected him to not fold like a napkin as he did down the stretch. He did not birdie the holes that you needed to birdie at Quail Hollow on the back, 14, 15, and then made some absolutely horrid mistakes in the Green Mile coming home 16, 17, 18, and more or less just handed Scotty Scheffler the trophy and gave him zero, real competition coming down that backside. All he had to do was just make a bunch of pars coming in. So I will definitely hands up to that statement about Scotty Scheffler not being able to win otherwise outside of Augusta National. He proved me wrong, and
I mean, we got to be fair a little bit. I mean, that's not necessarily what you said. You just said
asked the
that the
question.
pressure had shifted to Scotty outside of Rory. We've been asking for years, is Rory going to win another major? It's been 11. And the conversation was more so about where does the pressure shift to now that Rory has conquered his Mount Everest. He won the green jacket and he won a major for the first time in 11 years. And so, that's kind of been put to rest. And so now it's like, where do we go? Is it Jon Rahm? Is it Bright? Well, it can't be Bryson. He just won the US Open, the previous year. Is it Colin Morikawa? Hasn't won one since 2021. And so there's a lot of questions. And I think Zach's, biggest one in his opinion was to go to, Scotty and whether or not he could win outside of Augusta National. I disagreed with that take. I did not think that he was on the hot seat, not as of yet, especially just winning the Masters, the year or 2 years prior. No, 2024, the year prior. So, but, I guess that's what, the beauty of the game is. We all see things from a different perspective. So, I thought it was on, who did I say? Colin?
I think so, yeah.
It was either Colin or John.
Yeah.
I mean, Colin hasn't won one since 2021. I'm even I'll raise the flag up even higher now. He's creating even more questions for me. I mean, it seems like every week he's beefing with the media even more than he was the week before. And he's lost, I think the stat was he lost 10 strokes on the green combined in his last 2 starts.
Sick.
10 strokes on the green. I mean, I'm a rough putter at times, but my God, that's insanity.
That's approaching
when you really think about it.
Approaching my skills there, my numbers.
Yeah, that ain't good, bud. So I like to see something out of him. I like to see something. I mean, we've seen some signs of life from Jon Rahm, at least a little bit. Contended, obviously kind of faltered there on the back, but at least good to see him, not finishing T30, T40, T50 like he had the year prior. And another good, I think decent showing for the first couple of days of the U.S. Open for him.
Yeah, tough Saturday.
Kind of faltered there at the end, but tough course. And I don't, the U.S. Open is one of those ones where I'm not sure that I think the cream of the week rises. I'm not sure the cream of the golf world. I'm not going to sit here and say that JJ Spawn is a better golfer than Scotty Scheffler because he won the U.S. Open, but I mean, he was definitely the better golfer that week. Did everything that he needed to do to win a U.S. Open, and honestly, it was impressive. Got a lot of respect for JJ Spawn. I like the U.S. Open too. I like that tournament a lot. So, yeah, it was a fun viewing experience on that one.
Especially at Oakmont. I just, I love carnage per se. I just love seeing these guys tested. I cannot stand watching a regular PGA Tour setup where guys are shooting 61, 62, 63, doing it multiple days in a row. I did just say that 30 under is an achievement regardless, but it's not necessarily my best viewing experience when I'm watching golf all in all. I want to see guys have to, make 10 footers for par, 12 footers for par. I want to see guys have to get up and down in certain situations from dead spots. I want to see guys in the fairway saying that I absolutely cannot go right of this green because it is a stroke unequivocally lost. And so that's why I love the US Open so much. And honestly, I'm going to give another hot take here a little bit with Scotty, but I think the pressure is still on him, even though he did win that PGA championship. I really do.
So then it's not. So then the event winning at Quail Hollow did not cure what you were looking
No.
for. So it was not a big boy event. It was not a big boy golf course. It was just
It was, yes, but
no, it wasn't. It was. I mean, I get it. It was a regular PGA Tour stop. I mean, I'm here for it. Trust me. I'm all over the Tory hate. I'm all over all of it. I get it. I'm here with you.
I'm more so.
I never said that I was. I was curious what you thought. And you're saying that you think that it was a big boy win, but now he's still on the hot seat again when you got guys like Colin Morikawa who are losing 10 strokes on the green and haven't won a major since 2021. It just seems like a miss.
So listen. So this guy is the best golfer of our generation, right? The best player since Tiger Woods, right?
So, who proclaimed that?
I did, 100%. I did.
Yeah, the fans did. I don't know that. I don't know that that's necessarily the truth.
It definitely is 100%. Data Golf
I think it's a little bit of. I think it's a little recency bias.
Data Golf has him as the second best player. They have a ranking of the best stretches of golf by a certain player over the last 50 years, and he in this stretch right now is the second best player in the world ever, behind Tiger Woods in 2000. And so that's where I'm at. I just think that he can do everything. But going back to what I'm saying, I want to watch him struggle and pull through a victory while struggling. Like when he wins, he never struggles. He never goes through a scenario where he shoots 74 on Saturday and he's got to go shoot 65 on Sunday to win. Like he doesn't do that. And so I just think he plays himself out of.
The Cat didn't do that.
Yeah, well,
The Cat has one come from behind major victory in his entire career.
I guess I'm more so saying at like a U.S. Open type, grinded out type victory. Like it's just.
I mean, I get it, but I don't.
Once
know.
he wins the U.S. Open, for me, it's a done deal.
And what if he never does?
He's still solid. He's still a really, really good player.
He won't be on the Cat's level for you?
No. Zero chance.
I don't know. I don't know who's putting him on that level anyways. It's still far too early.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's only been playing since 2022. And I mean, it's a great stretch, but Vijay Singh also has a stretch like that. And we're not sitting here talking about how Vijay, is the best player in the world.
Well, they were at that point, I think. They were talking about it.
Yeah, maybe at that point. But again, I don't know. It just seems like a lot for a guy. I mean, we're talking about, yes, Tiger had a stretch of that. That's the number one stretch, but go look at the other stretches throughout his career. We're talking about Scotty Scheffler sustaining this for 3 years. Tiger sustained this for 9, 10, 11 years. You know what I'm saying? And he walked away. And again, the whole struggle thing, I don't think that we really saw Tiger do that too. I mean, he blew the doors off everybody at Pebble, blew the doors off of them. Like, and I don't know that you're going to have that blow up Saturday that you're looking for to come back and shoot 67 or 65 to go win it. Because again, the Cat did not do that. The Cat won from ahead on all of his majors except for the Masters.
No, that 08 U.S. Open win was something fierce. That put him in another tier for me personally. That's what I'm talking about. Like just grinding out a victory at a very tough setup. And like, it just seems like every time he gets in these tough setups,
I think ultimately that was more, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that was more tore his ACL really more so than Tory being this just tough test of golf.
I'm just saying, it feels like he gets so frustrated with these tough setups sometimes. Like I watch him when he misses 4-foot putts and it doesn't even hit the hole, and he's out here, staring at it, trying to figure it out. It just seems like he's a little bit perplexed by really tough setups. And so
all I know is I don't know that Tiger has a U.S. Open on a really tough setup.
Hey, Beth Page.
Okay, Bethpage, that give you that one. Pebble, no. Tory, no. Yeah. And so, where's the Oakmont dub? Where's the Shinnecock dub? Where's the Wingfoot dub? Where have all of these, and where was, what I'm saying? It's just like that. Yeah. So it's like that would be my only argument.
I hear you.
I'm a big Scotty guy, so to hear that he's back on the hot seat after winning another major this year, and while we got other guys out here arguing with media, dropping caddies after 4 weeks, I just that are supposedly when I'm listening to podcasts, when Colin won his second, the Cats were throwing around numbers like 8. For him, over under 8 majors. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, where's the hot seat for that guy who came out and basically was, Scotty before Scotty, a young guy who came out, won two majors. Scotty struggled a little bit more coming out and finally found his footing, but it's interesting. I mean, we'll see. I don't know that Scotty. I mean, we'll see if the U.S. Open comes.
It eventually will, 100%.
I could see him pulling off like 4 Masters, maybe another PGA. I don't know that he wins the career Grand Slam.
I think he's going to win overseas relatively soon. Relatively
Yeah,
soon. He just
I
really good in the wind, knows how to fight the golf ball very well. It's not an overly tough setup. Again, you just keep your ball in play, and that cat is the best at it.
I don't know. That seems like the hardest one to win. It's the quirkiest. It's got the most variables, like weather-wise. Like you're not getting that sort of weather, here in the States for most of that stuff. Like I think it would probably be the hardest one for him to win. Not saying he doesn't have the game to compete at all of them. I think he could win a U.S. Open, but it's just like when you're talking about 6 guys in the history of golf, have a career Grand Slam, I'm not sure that we're looking at the next guy to have one. I mean, there's really good golfers that don't have them. Look at Phil.
Yep.
Phil's got 6, 7 majors and no U.S. Open to show for it, like 6 runner-ups, and it could just be one of those things where he has one that eludes him.
We will see. We shall see. I think that I think some of them are fluky though too. Some of those 6 guys, they got some fluky wins in there. My guy Rory, that U.S. Open win at Congressional. I don't know about that one. Streets are saying that it might be a fake U.S. Open win.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably true, but I mean,
it counts.
Another
all the same.
one where you just blow the doors off of them, and so hard to refute a lot of that stuff. I mean, I know I'm saying, stuff about the cat, and all respect to Tiger. I'm just, I just want to slow the roll a little bit. Let's not act like, Tiger was this like just ultimate come from behind artist. I mean, he blew the doors off people, played good golf that a lot of people at that time could not keep up with. They couldn't hit as far as him. They couldn't do what he did. I mean, it's just, a clinic, surgical. And that's a lot like what Scotty is. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to be this huge variety of like, one day I'm going to go shoot 76 and then the next day I'm going to go shoot 63 and I'm going to come from behind and beat you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to, like, even just looking at Quail Hollow, like he was just very steady. He was 2 under the first day. I think 2 under again the second day. He's down here on the leaderboard, not really being talked about a whole lot. People are like, oh, Scotty's lurking. And then it's just like, just death by 1,000 paper cuts. You know what I mean? He just is there and he's just going to keep being there. And so, I don't know. I kind of like it. I like the way he plays. So we'll see. Maybe he'll pull off Portrush.
Couldn't agree more. I think one of the big names is going to do it at Portrush. So we'll see which one it is. Might have to back the hometown kid over in his native land.
Shane Lowry? I like that pick. So that's a good pick.
Close.
I don't know. Yeah, who are you talking
Rory,
about?
What do you mean? Rory. That's my guy. He's doing
that boy packed it in for the year, brother. He is
career.
Done. He is packed. I don't know about the career. I'm sure he'll get remotivated at some point, but for the year that he's packed it in. But you talk about a cat who's on like just an anger ball tour.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Leaking the driver at Quail Hollow, I think, just really got him all stirred up.
I mean, I feel him a little bit, but also,
yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be private information. Yeah. So, and for his to get leaked and nobody else's, and then of course they're going to call into question whether or not he was using a hot driver at the Masters, and it's like, but the data. I was listening to No Laying Up, and they said the data on there is like a half a yard for a hot driver is what we're looking at once they lose the face. So are we really saying? I mean, I watched him barely carry or just nearly miss carrying bunkers on Sunday. If the driver was hot,
never know. Probably carrying those.
You should have carried him. You know what I mean? That's the way I'm seeing it. I mean, he's about a half yard off, right? If we're talking about a half yard, I mean, he ends up getting screwed on both of those. So I don't know. People just love to talk about it, but he's not doing himself any favors by skipping media the whole time. And well, it's just, you have a chance to get out. Yeah, you're pissed about it, but you have a chance to get out and just have the conversation. No, the driver was not hot at, Augusta. No, I didn't know about any of this. And it's just like, but you don't. And so what is it? silence breeds speculation, in my opinion. You don't
100%.
say anything. Cats are just going to sit here and run with whatever story comes to mind. And you're not here to defend yourself. You're not willing to go out and say anything. So it's like you're letting them create the narrative when that could be, the ball could be in your court.
Couldn't agree more, brother. Couldn't agree more. So that parlays us into, I think, our tour. What's
Yeah.
going on? How did the first event go for you? I would like to hear your perspective first, and then I'll go ahead and give mine.
So are we talking like first event or first full 18
The
hole
first
event?
full 18 hole event, the individual one.
I mean, from a standpoint of I guess let me just start with a couple of things. I thought that the event went really well. I thought it was well run. I think we have, I mean, I always there's 18 participants in the league. I've been on record saying that there's 15 participants in the league. So take that for what you will. So when we had numbers, I think we ended up with what? I think we ended up with 11 or 12 out there that day. So I mean, if you get 12 guys out of 15 to show up, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good turnout considering you're trying to get a bunch of dudes together on the same day at the same time. We all have busy lives. We all got things going on. So from that standpoint, I was pleased. I was pleased with the turnout. I thought it went great. Course played pretty well. I mean, we got some conditions that day. The
It
course
was
was in good
windy,
shape,
super
but
windy,
it
bud.
was windy. So if you wanted you wanted a good stout test of golf, you got that. It was cold, very very cold. The first few minutes that we pulled up, I will say,
You
like
guys
for the
walking out
first
in
three holes,
shorts.
like yeah, I couldn't feel my hands for the first like three holes. So like I couldn't turn over the club face. And I was like way right. But it did end up getting a little bit warmer. And it was honestly, that was all just accustomed to like a weird spring.
Yeah.
It was just strange spring. Like this was May 31st that this went down. And it was like legitimately 47 degrees when we teed off. I mean, the sun was out, but I think it got to like max 55. And now it's 93 degrees out. So it's definitely been a little bit crazy there. But I mean, from a show out standpoint, I thought it went great. Thought the event runs smooth. We have a great app. It's like a live leaderboard sort of deal. So we keep score. So that was really cool. Just being able to jump on the app, see what's going on, keep up with everybody else, even when you're not playing with them. And then like from my score standpoint, it was more of like, I went out there for a practice round that Monday, and it was literally the same exact thing that I did on Monday. I pulled hook one into the trees on 5, penalty shot, hit a huge slice on 6 into the fescue, penalty shot. I lost another ball or I put one in the fescue on 7. I didn't lose it, but I should have. I mean, it basically would have been the same thing. I think I took double bogey there anyway. So, I mean, I lost a shot hitting it in there. Kind of balanced out on the back 9, but had an egregious triple coming down the stretch. I think honestly I was even par or one over through the back 5, and then I was right there at the lead. I think I was tied for it going into hole 15, and duck hooked one into the fescue, and then put one in the trees and put it in another hazard. I think I ended up walking away with triple bogey. Yeah, triple bogey, so that dropped me 3 out of the lead because I was playing with actually the eventual winner, and he went on to, I believe, make par that hole, and so it took 3 shots. Ended up coming back, making birdie on 16, but it was just too little, too late. So yeah, from a play standpoint, just I think I ended up shooting like 83, 84, something like that. So just not great, not much to write home about.
What was your finish? T2, T3,
Yeah, I T2'd.
T2. A lot better.
2 strokes off. 2 strokes off the lead is where I finished
Pretty
at.
solid. Pretty solid. A lot better than my T6, that's for sure. Yeah, a lot of 3 putts. I think I had 8 3 putts, 7 3 putts all in all. I probably had 38 putts, 39 putts all in all. Shot 89, which is absolutely fucking disgusting. Let's just be real here. But that's just,
Hey, for some people that's a career day. So
yeah, you're right. You're right. All about
no,
perspective.
trust me, I don't abide by that thought process. I got to look at it through the lens of what you're capable of more so than more so than what the average is, in my opinion.
Couldn't agree more. I hit it pretty well, all in all. Just made some just dumbass, bonehead ass decisions with some clubs and whatnot, and then, I think a little bit too much leaderboard watching too. I think I looked at the leaderboard a little bit too often and a little bit too long, just trying to figure out what other people were doing. Really, more so concerning myself with what other people were doing rather than my own self. I think I took myself out of the tournament around 11, hole 11, hole 12. Like in my mind, I did. I'm like, I can't win this. And I very well could have still won it if I would have just continued to play, those last 7 to 8 holes with the mindset of anything can happen. So just trying to clean up some of those small things. Super excited for our 2-day 36-hole major though this upcoming weekend. That's going to be a big test, honestly, just to at a very tough golf course in the heart of summer. I'm sure the greens are running pure and fast. I'm sure the fairways are running fast. So super excited for the 36 holes at Denison Golf Club this weekend.
So, just kind of unpacking a little bit of that in there, just because I thought that was I thought that was an added layer to this whole competitive thing. So, having the access, we all have this app on our phone. And you can create the events, and then you go in, you actually import everybody's handicaps, and then they report the score. And so everything that we're doing obviously is based on net. We're not doing anything gross. We have a wide range of variety of handicaps in this group of friends, all the way up from like 25 down to 4, is kind of the scope. And so obviously everything's based on net. So, getting in there and seeing the scores as they update live is much different than turning in score, knowing what you're playing competitors are doing with you, but then having two groups behind you that are all competing as well and not knowing what they're doing, that's much different. Going to the end, turning in your scorecard, and then everybody's sitting down and figuring it up right there, at the table at the end of the round. No, this is like legitimately live. There was one scorekeeper in every group who made sure that every hole we're putting in every single score. And like, it was crazy because like we were the first group off. And so like we made the turn on like hole 9, and Zach's group was the last group. They were through like 6, I believe, at the time. And like one of his playing buddies that was up there, I mean, they're like 1 under, Zach's even. These are all net scores. 1 under, knee even. I think at that point in time, I was sitting at like 3 over, something like that. The guy who ended up winning sitting at 3 over. And so like we're sitting here and we're watching all of this. And then by the time, like you said, by the time we got to like 12 or 13 and we looked back at to what happened at the carnage of like 8, 9, 10, and 11, it was like all these guys are +6. And it's like, it's crazy to just kind of watch. And then I got to witness it firsthand. One of our buddies that we were playing with, he was tied for the lead going into hole 16 and playing a pretty good round of golf at this point. I mean, he's like a kind of a mid 90s player, low 90s, and he was really on pace to kind of be in that high 80s, low 90s area, which with his strokes was going to make him compete. And so he's literally tied for the lead at net 1 over. And then we just watch him. I didn't watch the whole thing unfold, but he hit his golf shot and went into the fescue. And all I know is when I went back over after hitting my shot, because it was cart path only, I walked over, came back. He's like, yeah, I'm taking a max 10 on this hole. I was like, dude, what the heck happened? And he's like, oh, I hit it in the fescue, tried to get out, got stuck in the fescue, tried to hit it out again. Then I took a drop, hit it back in the fescue. And so it was just like, to watch all of this, he's like, and then of course he's like, I shouldn't have looked at the leaderboard. And so it's like to see all of these different components that you would not normally get. This is stuff that you would, if you compete, I guess, in maybe local events that use like Golf Genius or something like that, you may be able to get live updates. But for the most part, if you're playing with your friends and you got a big enough group, you're not going to be able to monitor that. So it was just an added layer to the whole thing of making it interesting. Because like Zach said, I mean, he said he looked at it too much. So it's like, how much as a competitor how do you tote that line of like, okay, here's enough to look at it, but here's looking at it too much to where now it's influencing my decisions. Now I'm firing at flags I have no business firing at, or now I'm, that's all I think about. And so it's pretty cool, like kind of mental purgatory that you can find yourself in, and trying to figure out how to balance that is pretty fun.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And honestly, just going back to me, like calling myself out of the golf tournament with 7, 8 holes left, like if we're not PGA Tour pros, like guys can make triple bogeys very quickly, quadruple bogeys very quickly, double pars very, very quickly. And so it's like you're never really out of it. I think that's the big takeaway that I took from that first event is you are legitimately never out of it until you play that final 18th hole. And you just never know what could happen because golf's a fickle game. It's a very fickle game. Just like you mentioned, he made that 10 solely because he looked at the leaderboard. Solely. He was playing great
Yeah.
golf beforehand and
Oh,
yeah.
just solid as a
Yeah.
rock, dude.
So
It was crazy. It's like, and that's the thing, it's just we already talked about this. Like nobody we don't have that player in our group that's going to go beat down the door in birdie 15, 16, 17, to get it back to where it's like, okay, he's 3 down. He's going to go birdie the next 3 holes to get it back to where he needs to. Like, and that's why it's funny that you're saying like you wrote yourself out of the tournament when really, if you had logged par from 11 to
I'm
18,
winning
you didn't
probably.
need to go do
Yeah.
anything or even just logged 1 bogey. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, that could keep you in play because obviously with the net scores, if you go make par on a hole and you get a stroke, that's a net birdie. And so you get those sort of things back there. And it's like, that's far more likely is that we're going to have guys that are going to come in the high 70s, low 80s, so if you go blow up on the front 9 and you can go play a really steady back 9 and get yourself in the clubhouse at like a 43 on the front and shoot a 37 on the back, you can get that 80 with your strokes. You're going to have yourself a chance. And thinking that just because you shot 43 that you're out of it, we do have some guys that can definitely go and shoot close or near even par on the back after having a blow up. I just don't know that we have those guys that are just gonna, go blow the doors off and shoot 32, and really just come get the title. You know what I mean? So it's just that's what adds to the fun as well, is just how consistent, steady can you play and eliminate those big numbers and just kind of let the rest of the competition, kind of feel that pressure.
Couldn't agree more. And it's only exasperated over a 36 hole stretch rather than an 18 hole stretch, too. So that's why I'm very much excited about this major, too. Just doing it over 2 days and, somebody sleeping on a lead and, just a
Yeah,
lot of different
100%.
aspects to it for sure. So
Could go log a great score and it could literally, and I think that's the coolest part, I mean, about golf in general. But I think with a group like this, I mean, you should expect more volatility than maybe a tour guy I know, or even like amateurs. Those guys can go shoot 68 and then go shoot a 74. But I mean, we're talking a much higher levels of volatility than that. Like you could go shoot 74 one day and literally go shoot 86 the
yep.
next. And like we're talking huge differences here. We're not just talking 6 strokes. Like that could be
Yep.
everything. You know what I mean? And so you're never out of it, no matter at what point you're at in the tournament. And so I think it's been cool. It's been a lot of fun. I think it's been a success so far. Trying to get my friend here to focus on the positives. We have had, maybe a little bit of issues with just overall commitment and, getting bodies out there. But, it's tough, when we're all grown and all have different lives. And seems we are scheduled this weekend and there's a pretty big wedding going on, with like quite literally like half the group, is all invited to. So things like that, you just kind of throw your hands up, like you said, and just call it what it is. There's nothing you can really do. So, um, but yeah, I mean, 11 of 15 for the first one out. I think it's pretty good, and hopefully we can kind of get back to those numbers here as we progress through summer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So anything else that you want to talk about today? What's been going on with your summer other than the Friends Tour? Anything noteworthy?
I mean, not really. I got, I guess a little bit. Yeah, took a little bit of a trip down to see my brother in Florida, 2 weekends ago, and it was great to go down and see him. I did feel a little bit bad. Just I had gotten sick that Thursday when we traveled. I woke up on Friday and I deal with seasonal allergies. So I just kind of thought that maybe I was getting some allergy stuff on Friday. But as the weekend progressed, it progressed along with it. And so I did feel a little bit bad because I just didn't really feel like myself. I wasn't, I wasn't as talkative as I would be, and maybe just as I would describe as full of life as I would normally be. So, but other than that, it was great to get down there and see him and spend time with him and his girlfriend. And the weather was hot. Got to play some golf down there. played a pretty good round, considering I didn't have my clubs or anything with me. So we had some fun with that, and got to spend some time out by the pool, got a little bit of sun, and got home and got pretty sick, like even sicker than I was down there. So I had to deal with that, and just trying to keep business rolling. We are still in full on wedding planning mode. I have been Jordan, my fiance, and I, we were talking about it the other night, and we're like, we feel like we're getting behind. Like, it's just, we've been kind of in a lull period where it's been like, we haven't really done anything since booking our photographer, which was like a month ago. And so it's just like, we missed we're supposed to go try some catering options last Wednesday, but I RSVP'd too late and they were already booked. And now they don't have one in July. Next one's in August. And so a little bit of stress there about that. But it is what it is. So
Everything gonna work out
just
for the
trying to,
best, always.
yeah, it is. And so, I mean, they're trying to get us to like put this down payment down on this food and all of this without ever even trying it. And I'm just like, I'm just really not into that,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. And the quote you guys gave us was something absurd. So it's like, I really want to see the food, see what it is that I would really want on the menu. And then that way I can cater what I actually want to get done to that. And so, they got what I would classify maybe as a little bit of like some fear mongering going on. I asked the one lady, like, hey, what's the situation looking like? She's like, we have 4 couples that are interested in your date. None have booked. None are scheduled for the tasting tonight either. So, you guys may be fine come August. Then I got another dude in my ear the next day talking about there's 8 couples that are all interested in your date. This is something you guys probably need to take care of now. This shouldn't wait till August. I'm like, where's the information coming from? Because the one lady told me 4 and that none of them even went to the tasting. And now you're telling me there's 8. And so I'm just like, I don't know. So I'm like, are you guys just trying to gaslight me into doing this?
They
And
want your money.
I,
That's what it is.
yeah, and I'm just like, it's cool. I'm like, I literally have a cousin who sent out invitations she got engaged in like February and is literally getting married this month. And so I'm just like sitting here telling me, like, you're telling me if I book my caterer 10 months in advance, that's not enough time. Like, I need to do it 14 months in advance to be all right. Yet there's people that literally schedule and do weddings in the same year, and I can't do mine 10 months in advance. Like, it's just like, I'm not buying into that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been around, I'm old enough to know. I feel like when I'm being sold something
Bill
that
of
doesn't
goods.
make sense, yes, and it's just like, this doesn't make sense to me. I'm just not seeing I understand urgency. I'm not telling you that I want to do this 3 months in advance of the wedding. I'm telling you 10 months, and you're telling me that that's like just unheard of. I can't get behind that.
Yeah, and you definitely got to try your food before you do it. Like that's
Yeah,
one of the biggest aspects of the entire night. Not necessarily for you, obviously, but for
but just
yeah, for your
everybody in
guests.
general.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the people
yeah.
that it's for. Obviously, it ultimately it's for you to get married, but it is a party for your guests too. And so you got to make sure that they're good to go.
I'm just not stroking that
Yeah,
level of
I
check
agree.
without trying your food. Like, it's really the principle
I
of it
couldn't
all.
agree
Like,
more.
to think that I would do that is actually
Preposterous.
insulting to me to a little bit, in my personal opinion. Like, you want me to spend, I mean, let's just throw the numbers out there, anywhere between 7 to 10 G's on your
Without
food,
trying
and
it.
you don't want me to try it first.
Crazy.
You want me to just take your word. And they said, oh yeah, we have great reviews. That's great, but your menu is so expansive. There's like so many different options. Like, how could I possibly know what it is that I want to
Great
do?
reviews. That's sick.
I swear to God, that's what the email said. That was what they tried to sell me on. As you can see, we have great reviews. That's great. I don't doubt that you do a great job. That doesn't mean that the food that I want, that I think that I want, is what I actually want until I try it.
Yeah, I'm
So
on board with that with you. Definitely don't stroke no check until you try it. Make
no,
that happen.
absolutely
Yeah,
not.
for sure.
Absolutely not. So, but other than that, yeah, just kind of, I mean, I've been in golf mind, man. I have been in golf brain world. Way more than I anticipated I would be. I was on the record. I came out. I formalized written statements that I would not be playing as much golf as I have been so far this year. My fiance called it from a mile away that was just horseshit,
Preposterous.
and that this just always happens. You say you're gonna do it, and you just love it too much. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe it's just time to lean into it and just accept it for what it is. I just love the game. I am full on addicted to it. I think about it pretty much every day. So, I mean, that's what consumes a large part of my brain and thought process.
I'm right there with you, sir. I am right there with you. If I'm not playing, I'm thinking about it. If I'm not thinking about it, I'm trying to think about it, you know.
I mean, I'm even reading books about the sport right now. I mean, I set a goal this year to read a certain number of books, and I was into some personal development, some psychology, some things like that. And I was like, you know what? I love this sport so much. Why don't I buy some books to kind of help me think about golf in a different way or just learn something new, you know what I mean? And so I'm even reading books about it. So yeah, it's like fully consumed basically my life at this point. I work, spend time with my fiance, and I golf. That's my big three right there.
I love that out you. I really do. That has been my summer as well. Honestly, just trying to play as much golf as I can. Obviously, hanging out with my wife and family members, all in all. This is a busy time for me and my family around May and June. My mom's birthday is at the beginning of May, May 6th. And then literally a week later, usually it's Mother's Day. And then my birthday and anniversary is May 25th. And then my dad's birthday is June 2nd. And then we have Father's Day a couple of weeks later. And then my sister's birthday is June 22nd. So it's like, it's always fast and furious in May and June for me, just, hanging out with everybody, doing stuff. We did get on the boat last weekend as well. Had a couple boat days. Those were
That was fun.
great time for sure.
I got some bruised inner legs from just absolutely smacking the water.
Yeah, I saw one of the scariest things I think I've ever seen from you in my entire life. I thought we were going to see Sam chopped up.
Well, they made it way bigger than a deal than it needed to be.
Who would jump off a boat off the front towards the direction of which the boat is going, though? Like, come on, let's be real.
I jumped left.
No, you didn't.
I told you guys this. I told you this. I jumped. Then how did I end up left?
I don't think you did. I think it was.
I did. I came up and you guys were all the way over here, and you guys were like, "What is going?" I mean, I was a good 15 feet from the boat when I came back up out of the water.
I trust you.
True or not?
I don't
true?
remember.
I will say. I will be honest. I admitted to myself later that I did not actually fully process that when I jumped. Like, it was not an actual thought. So they're like, when they're sitting here asking me, why would you do that? I don't know. I just didn't really think about it.
Just jump.
I really didn't. I just jumped. I just wanted in the water. It was 95 freaking degrees outside. And I'm just like, I want in the water. The boat was not, it's not like we were traveling 30 miles an hour.
Very
and
true.
we were starting to slow down a bit. And in my personal opinion, I jumped left. And yes, was it idiotic? Likely. Some dubbed it the stupidest thing I ever did in my life. I disagreed with that. I don't think it's top 5.
On board.
I mean, based on the result, I would put it very, very far at the bottom of stupidest things. Yes, luckily the boat it's not a propeller boat. It's like a jet ski motor. So, I mean, it's not like there's this big old prop sitting in the back, waiting to chop me up. But in my defense, like I said, when I got up above water, I was a good 15 feet away from that boat. So I don't know what happened between then and then. They thought I was about to get swooped right up under the center of it and come out the other side chopped up. All I know is when I came up above water, I was getting yelled at, and I was 15 feet away from the boat, wondering what's going on, what's the problem.
My breath was held the entire time. I was spooked. I can't even lie to you. I was spooked.
Well, again, it was a very big lapse in judgment. I did not think about it, and if I could go back and think about it again, I do not think that would be the decision that I would make. So, lesson learned. Luckily, it didn't end up being anything serious.
We're sitting here shooting the shit right here, right now. We're all good to go.
Yeah. No, we are for sure. Like, it worked out for the best. But I did give a scare to the boat captain, who probably was one of his very first outings as a boat captain with just the friends, and just got this kind of little bit of a glare of like, what are you doing and why are you doing it, sort of thing. And fiance was not happy. There was definitely some terror going around of what could happen. So luckily we did not have to figure that out. We just it was all
couldn't
fun.
agree more. But it was a good boat day, beautiful weather, got some sun. Yeah, it was a great time for sure, hanging out with the friends. And so other than that, really have not really my June has been consumed with our niece being here in Ohio. She spent almost a month here about 4 weeks, pretty much the entire month of June. Actually just left to go home yesterday. She was a bundle of joy, a bundle of excitement, a bundle of, what's the word I'm looking for? Energy, just so much energy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously that's how kids are, and that's how I was as a kid, how you were as a kid. But it's just, it's crazy to keep up with. I'm
Different when you see it in person.
tired, bud. Very, very tired.
Yeah.
It can take a toll on you real quick. She was staying up later than I was. I was asleep by 9:30, 10 o'clock on the couch. She's up, chilling till midnight, ready to go.
Crazy.
But it was a good time.
Crazy.
Yeah, good time hanging out with her. Glad that we got to spend as much time with her as we were able to. She's about to turn 5 at the end of July, full of personality. She said some funny things, just making us laugh. Her big thing was no exceptions. Come over here, no exceptions. Come do this, no exceptions. So she's just funny. You know how kids are with the small things and what they really tune into and what they hold on to and what they repeat. I kept calling
sponges.
Yeah, honestly, I kept calling her Ricky, and she just was loving that. My name is not Ricky. I'm like, you're right. And then she would turn around and call me Ricky. I'm like, yeah, that's what we got to do. Call me a jokester.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am absolutely a jokester, Summer. Absolutely a jokester.
That's awesome.
But that's been
awesome.
my summer so far. Golf, summer, and hanging out with the family and friends. So it's been a good summer so far.
Yep, not much more you can ask for outside of that. We've gotten blessed with, seems like, some good weather finally. It was really a weird spring, even into like June. But things have balanced out. Got a little bit of a heat wave, and now we're at that point where the rain's like, is it even real? Like, I don't know. Like, I was driving back to the office today. There's this massive dark cloud. And then I'm at the office. It's like I look up on my phone and said rain for the next 45 minutes. And I look outside and there's just no rain at any point in the next 45 minutes. I like go outside, take the trash out. I'm like looking, wait, I thought it was supposed to rain. And then like you get back on the phone, it's like it disappeared. There's like a 15% chance at 6 o'clock. And it's like, it's just like, it's so strange. Yeah. It's like so blimpy, and it's nice. Honestly, I love it because I hate when I get on the app and I see rain everywhere. But now we're at the point where I see rain everywhere. I don't even check the app. I don't even look at it. I'm just like, this ain't happening. So it don't matter. And if it does, it's probably here for 10 minutes and it's gone the next. Yep. So, like Florida almost. Yep. Like when we were down in Florida, we literally got rained on. We had this one singular rain cloud that came on us on the golf course, rained for 5 minutes, and then we drove down the fairway and the sun was back out.
Literally 100 yards down the way.
Yeah. 100 yards down the way. Sun's out, no rain. It was just crazy. Yep. So it's like we get a lot more of that now up here, which is nice because those days where it just rains nonstop, like just sucks.
For sure.
Sucks. So.
Well, shit.
But yeah, I think that's got an hour and 3 minutes. Got all kinds of goodies in here for everybody. So a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. Golf, family, all the above, trips. It was a good one for sure. Good little Saturday Talk, second episode of the Saturday Talk series. Super excited to continue this one as well. And just keep giving updates on life and what's going on in our lives all in all.
100%. Yeah. Can't wait to do it again. So I like about once a month. It's a good space out, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Get some things on the docket to talk about. So, but yeah, we'll obviously be back with another here real soon, guys.
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody's support and for you tuning in today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. Let us know what your funniest part of the episode was, maybe. Whatever really just hit a nerve for you. Let us know in the comments below. I'm sure there was something in there. Maybe Scotty Scheffler hot take. I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
In there, so.
Something's in there for sure. Something about your goofy takes. There's got to be something. Freezing cold. The guy who just won a majors on the hot seat. Let's figure that one out.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in again today, and we will see you guys on the next one.
See you guys.